All right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm DJ Impact, and I got some of the bad boys here with me. I guess it's always a good thing that when you don't see everyone to do a roll call. I just think that's always important. So let me see who's here. Sin City Steve, are
What's
you
up,
here?
y'all? How you guys doing?
Oh, awesome, awesome. King Lucky, you here?
The quarantine cowboy is here.
There he is. Matt Michaels here.
Hey, Brucey.
All right, all right. And Simon Street here. Uh, Simon Street, are you here? Okay, so there we go.
I guess he didn't set an alarm.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it's
He did set an alarm. He just slept through it.
Oh, okay.
I love it, man.
You did.
Okay, wrestling talk, guys. Let's start with our favorite show to start off the week, right? WWE Raw. Let's
I
get
wouldn't say
right.
it's our favorite show to start the week. It's the show that starts the week, though.
That is true. That is true. I have notes, but it's always good when we have our very own King Lucky here to just tell us some of the thoughts of the show that he enjoyed. So, what you got, man?
Well, first of all, I'll say that nothing has been more entertaining than Sasha Banks and Bailey. During this whole thing, they have really come on strong, and they just continue, to me, in my eyes, no matter if you see them on all three shows or two shows, very entertaining stuff. And that continued again on Monday Night Raw. Sasha ran away with the title. So, we'll see what happens there, setting it up for a title match, to determine the real champion, if you will. Elsewhere, I thought Aleister Black should have went over on Seth Rollins. Rollins just came off of a great win at the Horror Show. So I didn't think he necessarily needed that win. I thought Aleister, who it seems like they're kind of at a crossroads with right now, needed that win more. But I also yes, I will say it.
I love looking at the face expressions coming from our other Bad Boy members.
Right. And then Shelton winning the 24/7 championship and joining the Hurt business is great because for him, an amazing talent, but just, really going nowhere. So now
he really needs the push at, what is he, 46? 42?
He doesn't necessarily need it, but it was good. It was good. And then obviously the biggest return was Mustafa Ali. So I thought overall the show was good. Some of the guys will talk about other points, but I thought those were the main things that stuck out to me.
By the way, I do like the new Hurt Business T-shirt. I don't think it looks that bad, So just that I'm gonna have to wait for when they do the sale, when they do, let's say, that shirt, it starts off half off, and then the next shirt's at $1. Then I'll get that deal.
Then that'll be your time to buy.
Yeah. It's got to be half off the $27.99. All right. Well, those are some good points there. It was a good match though between Aleister and Seth. Though I will say it was a good match. I guess you didn't like how it turned out, but good match overall. Street Profits back and they beat Andrade and Garza.
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting. I would say, let's see, we got Oh, yes, backstage there was that Shayna was looking at the women's title. Man, it's gonna be great when it's glad to see her back. She just it's the business is about to really pick up. It's I'm glad to see that she's just back at it, and I think that's gonna put everybody on notice. Which I guess when it comes to the title match, right, between Sasha and Asuka, Sasha shouldn't win it, right? Like at first I like the idea of watching them have all the belts as of right now, right? But technically we know Sasha don't have it. And then I was like, well, it'd be kind of great if they did, but with Shayna's in the picture, there's no way that whoever has that title is going to have it for long. Would you agree with that? So if that's the case, why not let Asuka just win over Sasha, and then when she ends up fighting against Shayna, she's going to pretty much take the title in, right? Because if Sasha was to win the title, she'll hold the belt for a minute. Am I wrong in my thinking here, fellas?
I don't know.
You're presuming a lot.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. But I thought it would be interesting. How about Orton beats Big Show? He is the legend killer. What y'all think of that, right? I mean, he's just taking them out. Boom. You like that?
I thought, when the camera stopped rolling, I think that's when it really heated up, because that's when Shayna came out and kicked Orton's ass.
Oh man. But overall, Raw. I mean, did you guys enjoy the show though? I got. How about you, Sin City or Matt Michaels? Any take from the show for Raw?
So I was surprised. I guess it'd be pleasantly surprised that they gave Kairi Sane a win over Bayley in a non-title match in her last night in the company. So that really surprised me.
Yeah. Yeah, Kairi Sane, man.
Yeah. So I mean, best of luck to her with whatever she chooses to do after this. But I would say that she would be missed. However, I think Asuka missed. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Bad joke. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump over then. I guess
that was some great kabuki right there, Steve.
At least someone put it over with something. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's jump over to Impact Wrestling. First off, there is some good news, guys. Ratings is showing to be looking good for Impact Wrestling. Now, of course, they're nowhere near the numbers of AEW or WWE. But
were we just going to ignore the giant elephant in the room and not talk about the Raw ratings, since you immediately brought up Impact ratings?
You know what?
Lowest ratings.
So anyway, this is the easiest way to see Bruce. I look out for the product. There you go.
Yeah. And I thought, you know what? Speaking of Bruce, I mean, is there anything that we should let Bruce know about? Anything, or should we tell him, give him some more gems to help bring over the show for next week or upcoming, or are we just gonna wait for the check? I'm just curious.
Well, if they launch into Nation of Domination 2.0, then it'll all be good. But supposedly that angle's dead in the water, according to Dave Meltzer. Also according to Sportskeeda. And you would know this if you listened to the 3 count.
Right.
Continuity.
Although, if you're listening to this on the podcast, the 3 count will be tomorrow. So look out for the story we do.
Yeah, it happens that
or
way.
Lack thereof.
Okay.
You know what? I'll just do this. And again, this will be something that our our audio only listeners won't appreciate. But
Okay.
So now, for those of you who can't see it, he's kind of gently stroking his
mute button.
Going back to what I was saying with Impact, they did have some really good ratings from where they were starting a few months ago, and of course a lot of overall it's just saying that they're just pretty, having pretty good storylines and pretty good matches, and it's growing again, not at the numbers of WWE and AEW, but from their own numbers from where they've seen on Access TV. They are going up slightly just about every week, and so that's a good look for them. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw Impact. I'll start just a little bit. Some notes I have. They had a new opening theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good there. Chris Bay once again put that bet on the line against Willie Mack, and of course he retained that X Division title. So those guys they look good in the ring. We're not gonna see probably too many more matches now, but it was a very good match. And Chris Bay, man, he's back in his dressing room with, he's got some women back there. He's got some champagne back there, and good old Raju pops up, He asked him, why are you in your wrestling gear, man? You got a match or something? He's like, dude, look, I'm just dressing up because you never know. Someone might need a backup guy, and I'll be ready. I love it. But yeah, great storylines with that. I also have, this was a question I put down, and maybe you guys can help me out with this. Okay. Carl Anderson, he has a shirt on, but I guess he's now, and maybe he's always have had this name. My bad. I didn't follow him from his beginning childhood when he was a 3-year-old wrestler, so I should probably know it. Okay. But he's going by the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. And my question was, why would you go by that while at the same time you have the machine Motor City Machine Gun?
So
it just seems like it's too.
So
go ahead.
Anderson went by that name when he was in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's him. Like it was his gimmick for years in Japan, and it's his non-WWE
It's a little
name.
bit too close though. Like, I guess no one would have to change, but I don't know. It just seems.
It doesn't matter. It's a non-factor.
I guess, but all right. Seeing the name twice.
You're overthinking this, dude. You are way overthinking this. Yeah. It's Impact.
Well, he goes by Machine Gun, so they can't go by machine guns.
Oh, I'm calling this guy out for the fact that he's talking about Impact when he calls himself Impact. I'm just saying.
I just want to say that for the record, I had that name before they took on that name.
Ooh.
I just want to say. So
shots fired.
Yeah. I mentioned Heath. We he couldn't get in the building. They was checking his name on the list, and the guy asked him for his last name, and he don't have a last name apparently. So it just should be Heath, and there was no Heath on the list, so he couldn't get in. So I thought that was pretty fun. I was enjoying to look at. And last I put down, it says Eddie Edwards, Eric Young have words, and they fight. But will the what did I write down here? Oh, I see. Because when I watch, where did Matt Michaels go? He just disappeared.
Yeah. Did you watch what? What were you saying?
Yeah, so I was just writing down. When I write words, I write really quickly. I got all that. I got a lot of notes. And they ain't gonna show through here, but it's like just tons of notes on here. So sometimes I don't know what the heck I be putting down. But it looked like they had some words and they had a fight, and I guess they'll end up fighting. It says Trey, one of them. So look like you had that. Moose. All right. He says that you can get to fight for the TNA championship by invitation only. Okay.
And who did he face? Fallah.
He faced Fallah Bahh. So he was Fallah Bahh was invited. So that's a cool thing, right? About having a TNA is now you can get some other guys that wouldn't have the main championship fight against another championship.
Yeah.
You know.
Not a championship.
Yeah, of course. It's the most prestigious.
The most prestigious non-championship in existence. Got it. Got it.
So it's the NWA title.
Well, sometimes you got to call a beaver, I guess.
Those of you who are going to listen to 3 Count in a day, you'll get the reference.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So I put that down. I also had mentioned that there was something that it's called Wrestle House, which is a reality TV show that starts Tuesday. So I'm interested in seeing what that's about. Wrestle House.
Yeah.
You know? So that looked like that was pretty interesting. Everyone was just kind of popping in on the screen.
That's another way for them to create entertainment. I mean, you got to kind of get creative during this quarantine. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. The last thing I put down was there was the World Tag Team Championship that went on between the North and the Motor City Machine Guns. And who won?
Which one is that? Is that Gallo or is that Anderson? Which one's the Motor City Machine?
Dude, I didn't think that they debuted yet. What are you talking about, Impact?
Very confusing.
You might be confusing them, but I tell you what, there is a brand new tag team champion now. After 1 year, got to give the North some props, right? They beat everyone they could. They went through it. They won, kept it for a year, and now Motor City Machine Guns are now your new World Tag Team champions. So overall, that was a good show. I don't know if you guys watched it, but do you have any take on what you saw from Impact?
Yeah, a couple of takes that I had outside of the stuff that you already mentioned. The Kurt Hawkins vignette or whatever he's going to be going by. Very interesting to see where that goes, because he was somebody that a lot of people had fandom for in WWE, and he just never really did anything. So, and then I also thought, despite the Kurgan reference or comparison, I thought EC3's promo shows that he's ready to carry the company. He's going to be their guy in the future and going forward. So I thought his promo was very good, and it had actually a lot of buzz on social media. So, but I thought overall it was a good show. I was interested to tune in to see if they could carry over the interest from the pay-per-view, and they definitely did. I was going to watch either way, but from all accounts, you hear that their ratings were up, right? And then also, too, that the interest is there. So I'm happy that there's, 2 viable options on Tuesday night with AEW Dark and then also with Impact Wrestling. It's a great time for a wrestling fan.
Well, I'll be the first one to tell you that I don't watch AEW Dark.
And you should. I will tell you that you should be watching, and it's available on YouTube, so it makes it really easy. But that could be part of your Tuesday night lineup. They've got some very good, matchups that they do there. People that they introduce before they make it to TV. I think it's a really good show.
Yeah, so he wants you to watch the equivalent of like Main Event.
Thunder.
It's higher than that. Yeah, it's Thunder. Thunder would be the comparison. Not main event, but Thunder would be the comparison.
It's Thunder for YouTube.
Yeah. It's true. But it is a good show. I mean, you get to see, it's a nice little lead in to the Wednesday Night Wars, which will be coming up next.
Oh, wow. You figured that out?
Yeah.
Well, good stuff for Impact Wrestling. I'm loving what they're doing right now. And, EC3 did get in the building, and they were trying to figure out how did EC3 get in the building, but Heath couldn't. It was just so weird. I don't know. I'm sure we'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
Let's go over into WWE NXT. And of course, the big announcement is how the show started, right?
Yep.
Keith Lee relinquishes the NXT North American Championship. How do you feel about that before we go any further?
I liked it a lot. I think that it gives way for other talent to be showcased.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little soon, but I get it, but I think that it's, to me, a great way for other talent to get, TV time. So I'm fine with it.
Sin City, you was all right with when, to see how that all came out?
I was all right with the act of it being done. I don't necessarily think that it should have happened this soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you let Keith Lee run around with both belts for a month, couple of weeks, something like that. It just felt, kind of anticlimactic to me.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, like you kind of have to second guess everything. If you look at everything, obviously in retrospect, if Adam Cole would have won the North American Championship, would he have just vacated the North American Championship again? If we apply it, the same logic through both characters. Now, obviously, there'll be people that'll say, well, Cole wouldn't do that because he's a heel and he'd run around with both belts.
Yeah,
that honestly would have been better than just dropping the title. Now, I like the different format of qualifiers rather than having like a 16-man single elimination tournament, which technically would give more people an opportunity.
Sure.
I like the creativity that they're showing and, using multi-man matches to get to a multi-man ladder match, which has normally been a formula for success for NXT in the past. So I'm cool with it. Yeah,
the North American Championship qualifier had Gargano, Strong, and Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed, guys, I mean, he came out.
You need a base. You need a base in a ladder match.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
okay. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it was a really good match between the three, and it just shows the confidence that they have in Bronson Reed to go over in that match, and now to go on.
You don't like Cameron, but you like Bronson Reed.
Yeah, right. I maintain I don't like Cameron Grimes. No.
Whatever.
Newsflash, coming soon to a ladder match near you.
And he could very well win it because WWE likes goofy characters. So
yeah, they love goofy characters like that guy and that other guy. But I think that they made a mistake. I think they should have had Keith Lee vacate the heavyweight championship.
Now, why would you think that?
It's never been done before.
Yeah, but that's stupid. That's why. Why would you get rid of the top title?
Anything can happen in the WWE.
And you're establishing the value of that North American Championship.
You deserve to go sit. You deserve to go sit in the corner for that, man. Like, let's go stare at the wall for an hour. I tell you what, I am entertained by though. I am entertained by Robert Stone.
Yes.
Listen, I'm just a little kid when this guy comes out because from the time he just starts walking with that boot on, I'm just already on the floor.
Did you just say yes?
Yeah, I like Robert Stone. I always have.
You fucking don't like Cameron Grimes because he's one of those over-the-top crazy characters that WWE love. And then you turn around and go, Robert Stone is just a very philosophical man. And he's just such a talented.
No, but you know what? I enjoy his entertainment. I don't know what it is about Grimes. I just can't get the top hat, the overly hairy guy. I don't know what it is. It doesn't work for me, but I do like Robert Stone. I always have liked him, like from way back. So, yeah.
Well, nevertheless, he was going up on the steel stairs, and then here come Shotzi with her tank, and she hits the stairs. He falls off of that, and then after the match, he ended up getting his other good foot. Ran back over with the tank. It's just good stuff. I just love it. And who came to his saving? Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking like a badass out of nowhere with that big boot. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Mercedes Martinez came out of nowhere, and then later on in the show, looked like she signed up for the services of Robert Stone. So I'm going to be enjoying a lot more of seeing him. But I'm loving that whole storyline. That's my laughter for the show. So for all the writers looking at that's listening, keep him on. All right, that's money for me. That's all I mean, there's other parts of the show. Of course, you can't miss going over Karrion and Dijakovic, but what's your guys' take on Raw? What your thoughts were?
Raw?
On Raw?
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we talked about
NXT. Sorry.
Wait, did you have some of that RVD CBD? Is that what you had?
No, but it's coming.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha. I will say that overall, and we're going to get into AEW in a little bit, but I thought the main event with Karrion Kross and Dominik Dijakovic was the best part of Wednesday night. It was intense. It really told a story, and I think that it's going to be a very good feud with him and Keith Lee. So I can't wait to see it.
Okay. I mean, come on, Sin City. You like NXT. Let's go.
All right. So the thing is, I definitely have to agree. The best part of NXT was Kross and Dijakovic. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything to the contrary on that. They, in my opinion, they told a good story with that. What I have to comment on though is during the Breezango and Everrise match. So you had Breezango coming out as Mounties, right?
Mountie.
Yep.
And so the commentary strangely shifted over to quite a lot of Beaver talk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's true. You got to call
Just
Beaver
send the check.
there.
Yeah.
Just send the checks.
Yeah.
So anyway, there was that. As far as the Robert Stone thing, I thought that it was awesome that for 2 weeks in a row, Robert Stone gets run over by a mini tank. Yeah.
And I like
awesome.
how they can't. I like how they just like Aaliyah be trying to get it off her. Try to raise
Right.
it up. She can't get it. I love it.
And
Yeah.
can we just talk for a minute about Oney Lorcan and Timothy Thatcher?
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, like those guys, they kill it every time that they go out there.
Mhm.
And you know, for ground-based wrestling, to finally be having this kind of a spotlight on a WWE brand is pretty fucking cool to see. So great job by those guys. I do have to say from the chat, Tristan Hampton asks Lucky, you jealous of all that hair? Talking about Cameron Grimes.
Definitely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, he looks like he should be sponsored by Manscaped.
Yeah, you're talking about his top hat when you got that stupid ass motherfucking white cowboy hat.
Hey, listen. Ain't nothing like a quarantine cowboy, baby.
Jesus.
Let me ask you this right quick, though, Sin City. Do you think Thatcher's style of wrestling, which is definitely new to me, but I do find entertaining watching, are other wrestlers are going to be able, who's not trained in that way, is he going to pretty much have other opponents to fight that will
send him to SmackDown?
Okay.
So like when the time comes, I'm obviously saying, keep him in NXT for now, but when the time comes that he goes to a different brand, send him to SmackDown. He'll be able to do all that shit that he can do there with, the SmackDown locker room. If he goes to Raw, then that's going to be a completely different clash of styles. Couldn't call it a styles clash.
Call it a styles clash.
Pun. Yeah. No, but legitimately, it would be an extreme clash of styles if Thatcher, when the time came, and the brands stayed as they are now, if he went to Raw as opposed to the SmackDown locker room.
I think he goes to AEW.
Matt Michaels, what is your opinion on that style of wrestling? Do you dig it? Do you prefer that over what you're used to seeing, or it doesn't really matter either way?
Yes.
Oh, the
historian.
It throws me back to the days when Ring Warriors, they really grappled with wrestling.
Yeah.
It was 2 out of 3 falls. It was mano a mano.
Yeah.
There was no showmanship. It was just, I'm stronger and tougher than you. One could even say Les Thatcher was a good example of a Timothy Thatcher of his time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well played.
And I do think that today's extreme wrestling, where wrestlers are being buried in boneyards and wrestlers are getting their eyes popped out from the metal steps that lead up to the ring, that apparently is just about as common as a suplex. It just doesn't jive with the greats of our business, like the Dan Gables, which I would say nowadays that Shorty G is today's Dan Gable.
All right. Well, thank you there, Matt Michaels, our historian. Always bringing everything back into perspective for us, and we need that. So
you really need to get him like an interlude.
I know, right?
Seriously. So like you can just drop that in, like whenever you see him like do the thing with his glasses, then you just play the drop.
Right. Yeah. We got to do that. Should we not mention the Dexter Lumis and Killian Dane match as well? I mean,
good match.
Good match, right?
Yeah.
Does Dexter Lumis, does he ever talk? Or we keep him not talking?
Get him that title, man.
Okay.
I think it's important for him, to continue his gimmick without talking. And I'm perfectly fine with it. They've booked him spot on for a psycho killer, if you will.
That's why he should just take the fucking title. Just take it.
Carve a motherfucker up.
Just steal it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, Keith Lee, dude, you want to talk about a Thanksgiving turkey right there, man?
Jesus.
That could feed a nice big family, and Loomis is the perfect guy to do it.
All righty. So we're on to our next show.
No, we just did next.
AE Dubs. So Sin City, I gotta tell you, I still don't know. I know a little more now, but I was not familiar with an Eddie Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Don't look at me like. See, this is why I can't say
I'm
looking at King Lucky because every time I say a name, everyone. I was truthful from the very beginning. Right. I have been a fan of WWE product primarily all my life. I didn't jump over into other wrestling programs, and I feel, I'm sad about that now. I missed a lot.
Dude,
don't worry. Don't worry. Lucky is the exact same way, but he refuses to be humble about it.
He didn't know who fucking he was until after he read it on the internet after he debuted.
Right.
Yeah.
He saw Eddie Kingston's debut. He was like, "Holy fuck, who's that?"
Yeah.
Man, all I say.
He thought it was Eddie Edwards. It's like, holy shit, the Impact Champion's on AEW.
I called it.
Oh boy. And here comes Nick Aldis. Which is another, if you listen to 3 Count tomorrow, you'll get that reference.
Absolutely. But man, how he came out and was just killing on Cody, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I mean, he just straight went gangster on him. And I enjoyed the promo. Did his wrestling match the talk? Not really.
You think so?
I mean,
I thought it was actually really good.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying it was a bad match, but I'm just saying if you had to pay, let's say $75 to sit there, you would think that you were getting ripped off because you could pay the same $13 and see that quality of wrestler at a local show. Absolutely. Okay. No, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah. So ultimately,
go ahead.
What it comes down to is this. Kingston has a very specific style. And that is, that is something that is uniquely his. Mm-hmm. Where you would run into a lot of issues would be if you forced him to attempt to chain wrestle, and he portrays himself turned up to 10 as far as his personality. So it's one of those things that he plays that gimmick very, very well, and his wrestling style matches the gimmick. So legitimately, if I had never seen Eddie Kingston before, and then he came out and he cut the promo that he did, and he said the things that he said, I would halfway expect him to wrestle the same way that he did. And
are you saying that you saw that in that match?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Because he's not a catch as catch can lucha libre or
I get that.
High flying wrestler. He is an I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you wrestler.
For some reason it just looked like that Cody was having more of the advantage of him. I didn't see.
He should. He's the fucking champion.
I get that, but the comment he had made, if I couldn't be wrong, did he say that I could bury you something like 6
I could bury you where I stand or something like that.
Yeah, and smile at it.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, that's just
that's some cold-blooded shit.
That is right. So when you're expecting the match to start, I'm expecting that. I'm not saying I'm expecting.
Are you expecting them to fucking lock up and shit to start a match?
I'm expecting him to just to start just to start whooping on Cody's ass. I don't remember seeing that. I saw most of the match. Cody had the upper hand. There. Yes, he did. Majority of the match. I just didn't see this gangster, this person who was like, I mean, the way he was talking, I was really thinking, and I would have enjoyed it if he would have. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you've got a great point, and this is another one that you can chalk it up to debuting wrestler, first match, title match, can't be put over because it's a title match. So we don't give him the same. It's bad debuting. You know, it would have been great if he would have had majority of the match where Cody was fucking looking like he was on the fucking ropes.
Right.
And then why the fuck do you not have Arn Anderson? Because you like schmozzes. Have Arn Anderson fucking clock him on the outside of the ring or something.
Right.
You know, like pull what Becky, the Sasha Becky Bailey match where, you know, if Arn could have just nailed him with some brass knucks on the outside because he was fucking saying shit to Arn, then you're expanding something now that you've got where, you know, Cody now is playing with a little bit of that heel turn because he also came out. Eddie came out as a heel.
Yeah.
When you're wondering where Cody's going, is he going to be a heel? So it's confusing.
Yeah. That was my only.
I think that the promo actually set up the match extremely well, and there was really good subtext in there, where, you know, Eddie Kingston was saying that Cody didn't have to really grind, you know, that hard, and he had it very easy, and all this kind of stuff, and that he didn't have the drive, whereas, you know, progressed to obviously the thumbtack spot, which I'm sure I'm surprised that we haven't talked about that yet. But, you know, with the thumbtacks being out there, the first person to take a thumbtack bump did end up being Cody. So I think that promo at the start of the match actually set that up extremely well. And here we go. I'm a sucker for continuity. About a minute into this match, you see that Eddie Kingston messes up his knee. So, you know, he's working that throughout the entire match, and it would come to, you know, the finish, and it's something that was a story item, that was a plot device used to set up the finish of the match that occurred almost immediately. And I'm just super happy that they didn't have him, like, you know, running at 80 miles an hour on his injured knee, or, you know, doing a bunch of flips, or going to the top rope, or doing a lot of that type of shit. Sure. They set it up early on in the match that, okay, he tweaked his knee, and then that almost builds a little bit of disbelief in the viewers' minds. Well, you know, was that supposed to happen a minute and change into this guy's debut? And then the finish of the match happens, which is a figure 4, which plays into that plot device, and it's just gift wrapped. I mean, this was the best thing on Wednesday night.
Oh, Christ's sake. Come on.
Wait a minute.
Fuck out of here.
Jesus Christ. I was with you with everything until you said it was the best thing on Wednesday night.
Hey, but that's the thing.
You're laughing.
That's the thing. You loved the last segment with Cross. That's awesome. I thought it was great. I thought this was better. That's my opinion.
Yes.
See, that's the great part. We can agree to disagree about this shit.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're wrong.
No, I'm not, but thanks.
Oh, no. We all know you're wrong. Come on.
Well, look.
Come on. The best moment of Wednesday night was Jungle Boy's match against MJF.
Well, let's talk about some other highlights, right? What we have here, a Falls Count Anywhere match, right? You had Butcher and the Blade versus the Young Bucks. And it started in the kitchen of the Daily's place. And they beat up all around that area. So And which Jackson was it? Was it Nick that got thrown into his own drawn picture of the Nick?
No, it was Matt that was thrown into the back of the production truck.
Oh, Matt. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was a hell of a match.
You enjoy that?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. The way it started in the kitchen, I thought was good. I could not complain at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Great entertainment there.
I mean, it was definitely different.
I was the most impressed that the Butcher and the Blade, took a couple of seconds before the match started to like wash off their hands because they were handling the meat, and then they happened to throw the guys into the fucking meat anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
cleanliness.
Yeah, but that was for their own safety, washing their hands, because if they didn't and they went like that or something, they could get salmonella. But who cares if the Bucks get salmonella?
Right.
Yeah, seriously, who cares if the Bucks get salmonella?
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus.
seriously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you know what? They won't, because they're Christian AF.
That's right.
For people that watch BTE.
Okay. That was a reference I didn't get.
Yeah, you gotta watch BTE, baby.
Okay. All right. Y'all just packing up my list of shows. I mean,
BT is like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
7 days a week, I'm watching wrestling.
I believe that. I will say I was entertained by Lance Archer. This guy literally went into the back, picked up this dude, threw him to the roof, okay? And then picked up the same guy and threw him in a trash can. Dude, that was awesome. I'm going to be honest with you. That segment was, I was like, dude, he didn't just throw him into a ceiling. That was just...
All the while, Jake is just cutting this calm, just straight promo, just,
Yeah.
cool as could be.
Dude.
It was like his grandfather was like running after him like he was a kid doing something bad. And all you hear is like, no, stop. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's perfect. I like that.
Right. Yeah, I enjoy that. That was really good. What's your guys' take? Eva Lise and Diamante.
Dude.
Yes. They
That was
both
a hell of a
threw their
match.
women's division in one night.
Hopefully they sign Eva Lise, because that was a barn burner.
Shit, Diamante as well, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I thought that was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Is that what the women's division need? Is that
Yes.
what's missing?
Well, yeah, they definitely do. And I'll tell you what, not only that, but looking forward to this Women's Cup tournament that they announced. They're gonna need to bolster up their women's division big time. They're gonna have to sign.
They won't have to. No, wait, stop there, dude. Look at the Mae Young Classic. That's the perfect example.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign all these people.
Don't necessarily-
You just want them to sign all these people because you think that that's fucking amazing. Oh, let's bring in all this talent. What the fuck do you do with them?
They don't need to necessarily sign everybody that they bring in for this tournament, but there are some standouts, and I thought those two ladies earned a spot.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I think-
So the big part of the show is how it ended, right? I mean, that's what I know King Lucky talked about the end of NXT, but how about how AEW ended?
How
well,
did it end?
the Latin God.
With the return.
Oh, really? That was the end. I really honestly
Yeah,
forgot
the return
that
of
was
Sammy Guevara, who was who was he dressed up as?
Serpentico.
Serpentico, yes.
Yeah, Serpentico.
Yeah. So
that was one of the worst commentating jobs. To like, it was like, why don't you just say it's fucking Sammy under it? Because you're basically doing that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm happy to see him back. Hopefully he he went through his courses and trainings, and he's good, and it's glad to see him back. And now we can mention the term Inner Circle back on TV.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that I think you missed before we got to that, the main event. And I'll tell you, I'm such a fan of Ricky Starks and his work. And now they've put him together with Taz and Brian Cage. And I think that's going to make for a great pairing. Just some dirty heels beating people up. But I thought that was a huge point in the show too. And I can't wait to see where they go with it next.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Yeah.
One last. Oh, go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say it's awesome that they're putting Ricky Starks into such a prominent role.
Yeah.
Putting him on Team Taz is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another faction.
Yep.
I'm okay if you dump one, which is the Dork.
The Dork Order. How did I know that you were gonna fucking say it?
You know it. You know that thing has run its course already.
Nah, they can scrap the Nightmare Family first.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm still waiting to see where Anna Jay is. She got captured and
who knows?
Yeah. So
what's your take on the announcement of the Women's Tag Team Cup tournament?
Happy.
Okay.
Do it.
I think
Sign them all.
What's that again?
Sign them all.
Oh.
Not what I was implying. But
so
sign the ones that are very top tier talents, like the two women that shared the ring on Wednesday.
Realistically speaking, that is similar to what you should do. I mean, basically, this should be almost like, I don't want to call it an audition, but this is an audition. So whoever does well in the tournament specifically, make it known. Shit, do exactly what WWE did when they signed Mia Yim, like right after one of her appearances, and they did the same thing with Cedric Alexander and the Cruiserweight Classic. Mm-hmm. And that was like a feel-good story that WWE did. Fuck it. Let AEW do the same shit. Yeah. I mean, it's only gonna help their women's division, which, as we say every week on this show, sucks. Nice ringtone.
Did you finish your thoughts in City before?
I did, but you know what? I'm ready to have a good time.
All right, well, let's have a good time, y'all. SmackDown. What is the definition of greatness? You want to know? You want to take the?
Tell us, enlighten us, oh maestro of mishaps.
Well, Bayley and Sasha would definitely be a good definition of greatness, because
they sure would be.
That's definitely how they kicked off the show. What's your take overall on SmackDown? We heard the bad news that comes from New Day, but at the same time, maybe some good news.
No, that was all positive, baby. It's time.
It's time?
Yeah, it's time. Big E's singles run. It is time. And they didn't have to have him turn on his brothers, which is great. So now let's let the party start.
Is what it is. That's great.
Yep.
Come on.
He said it's bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Give me a fucking turn.
Just give it time.
Don't give me this fucking I'm injured, Xavier's injured, but it's your time, buddy. No. What's the main goal if you're going out to a wrestling ring? To fucking win. Fuck the Brotherhood. They're not brothers. Edge and Christian, legit brothers.
Undertaker and Kane.
Oh,
Oh, definitely.
Right.
and Paul Bearer was their daddy.
Of course.
Well, at least Kane's daddy.
So where does
Katie
where-
Vick's coffin.
where does Big Show? I'm not Big Show. Jesus, Big E. I'm sorry. Where did Big E? So where does he go from here now?
Probably to the injury list like his brother.
Jesus.
I mean, he definitely doesn't go right for a title shot, because if that's the case, then he loses, which makes it not make any sense. So, is he just gonna I guess in the meantime, just start beating up others before he? I mean, should that be the goal, to get him to fight for and to become the SmackDown champion?
Well, I mean, right now you still have unfinished business with Braun and the Fiend, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really get him involved just right away. So give him a few. Maybe they'll start something this coming week with somebody. And I don't even know who would make a lot of sense in that respect. Who?
AJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was going to say
Yeah,
too.
put him in the IC. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying as well.
There you go. Have AJ do an open challenge, and boom, there you go. And then what do you run this feud for a couple months?
Yeah. And then you ultimately give Big E the championship, and then
So all this is going to happen within 6 weeks?
What's
No,
that?
no.
I just said all that's going to happen within 6 weeks, because that's when what's his name supposed to be back, right? Kofi.
Oh no, well, no. Once you set that ship out to sail, bro,
Yeah.
who comes back? Kofi, Xavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just run that as Big E as the singles guy, and then have them as the team, and then give E the championship, the IC title, let him go on a little bit of a run, and then maybe have Kofi or Xavier accidentally cost him the IC title, and that is your actual turn moment.
Then he can feud with them.
Yep.
Yes,
Exactly.
I'm not a fan of it, but I mean the pond is so small that it'll probably have to happen at some point.
It'll have to happen at some point. The three of them will not retire as a faction.
Yeah.
It's also it's a
Hey,
swamp.
can you hold that thought? Hold on. I want to go back to Sin City. That I had a little bit of a technical error. Can you just go back to what you had just said about how you think it should play out with Big E?
Like the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So realistically speaking, you could have Big E as the singles guy,
Okay.
and you could have Kofi and Xavier as the tag team. Have Big E go over AJ, give him a title run, build credibility with him, and then whenever they choose to pull the trigger on this, then you have either Woods or Kofi cost him the IC title inadvertently, like legitimately inadvertently.
Yeah.
And then Big E loses his shit and just wrecks them. I mean, you've got a storyline that'll last you, if done right, a year with this.
I think you know what makes more sense. We haven't seen a black member of the Wyatt family. Have Big E come in and get taken in by the Fiend.
Come
Fucking
on. Come on.
I don't see it, man. I don't see
Yeah,
it.
see him doing like that zombie walk.
What the
Do he could do the Thriller thing, man.
Jesus. All right.
What the fuck?
What the actual fuck, Michael?
Yeah. Dang. Moving on.
The drugs are amazing.
They are kicking in right now. You feel like you're probably in the swamp right now.
Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, brought to you by cannabis.
Yeah. Elsewhere on the show.
Go ahead, man. What you take it from there?
I thought Nice and Matt Riddle had a very good match. I don't know what Tony Nese did. He must have drank Vince McMahon's coffee accidentally, because he is the fucking consummate job guy now for all three brands.
Vince thinks it's Neville.
I can see why he would draw that comparison. But overall that match was actually really good. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with Nese. I mean, he's not a SmackDown guy anyway, but I thought Riddle looked strong. I also will say thank God Naomi got some TV time. She for the longest has been criminally underused too. Who she's got great promo skills and also can wrestle really good. So I didn't even know that she was trending last week. And then, kind of the fans were up in arms. So now it'll be interesting to see what they do with her, because she's got the support. We've seen in the past with the Cesaro section and Rusev Day, how those movements will be big and then they ultimately flub this whole thing. But hopefully that doesn't happen with her.
Yeah, because it didn't happen to Lacey Evans.
Yeah, Lacey Evans, another one, dude. I'm still a fan of hers, and for whatever reason, she became not the it toy for the week for Vince. So, but I will.
She gets a boob job, get a little bigger boobs, and some people like, Trish Stratus.
Oh shit!
Go ahead, title.
Well,
you ever think if he's really actually dead, and you just have a weekend and Bernie's Bruce is in there just moving his arms? I'm Vince McMahon. That's how all this shit actually happens, is because they're just trying to keep Vince alive and no one to realize that he's gone.
I am also happy to see that we're getting Otis and Mandy back, which is one of the best storylines of this year, without question. Chalk one up for the guys that got a little extra poundage on them. Otis is looking like money, even though he farted in the vignette, which is kind of what the fuck? But it looks good. And then, the bar fight. Certainly not a fan of the angle. However, I was a fan of the match. And I liked a couple different things from the match. I thought, to me, this was the best Sheamus that I had ever seen.
It only took him to dress like a stereotypical Irish immigrant.
Wow.
Listen, he did some other stuff that was stereotypical too, but I like this brawler, Irish brawler, Sheamus. I thought it was really good. And they utilized
Cameron Grimes' fucking top hat, but the bowler derby on Sheamus, I'm great with.
Yeah, definitely. No, you can't convince me otherwise. But the match overall was really good. They used the bar for different spots. They really beat the shit out of each other. And you had Brother Nero ultimately win the match. So I thought it was good. I thought overall SmackDown was a solid show. So I was thoroughly entertained. Hopefully they put all this behind Jeff now.
Well, Matt's coming back.
Yeah. We'll see.
And nobody enjoyed the Fatal 4-Way #1 contender. We have Metalik that defeated Gulak, Dorado, and Shorty G.
Well, so the reason why that was the only match on the entire show that Lucky didn't recap is because he's never seen Grand Metalik before, doesn't know how to pronounce his name, and quite frankly refused to watch the match because it was Metalik, Drew Gulak, who he hasn't ever watched either, Lince Dorado, can't even pronounce his name, and Shorty G, who he just likes to laugh at.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
fact of the matter is that he thought that it was Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, of course.
I thought it was a Micromania match. That's what I thought it was.
Oh man, there you guys go. Well, that is SmackDown. So it was a great week of wrestling. Can't end the week without getting some fights in, some really good MMA. And there was Fight Night 174 on ESPN. I got the results here, but no one better to talk about this than our very own King. So let us know, how did it go down this weekend, man?
Yeah, well, I'm going to break it down for you really quickly. Last and final show of Fight Island for now. You know, if the states start getting shut down, Nevada in particular, Las Vegas, then you could see Fight Island happen again, as Dana White has stated. But overall, the card was very solid. Lots of good undercard bouts. And then the main card started with Kazmat, Jesus Christ, Shimo is his name. But he did the interesting thing about him is that he took his second fight in 10 days and just came out guns blazing. And he had 2 separate finishes. So in 10 days, which is kind of unheard of. I'm surprised that Dana actually let him fight, but he got out of his first fight unscathed, and then he stuck around Fight Island and was like, "Give me another fight," and they did. They made it happen for him. So not only does he win, but he dominates. So he's a star that's on the rise.
Real quick, DJ.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and can you read that guy's name?
Say that name again.
Khamzat Chimaev.
I need to see that in front of me. I don't see that.
King, the floor is yours.
Yeah. But elsewhere, you saw Cookie Monster, Carla Esparza beat Marina Rodriguez. Just relentless pressure from the opening bell, used her wrestling at will to take her down. And Carla Esparza is actually, she's well respected. It's got a lot of experience in the game. And so it was pretty much an easy fight for her. Although the girl came in, Rodriguez, with a more impressive record. It's always something to be said when you're under those bright lights of the octagon in the UFC. Elsewhere, you had Alexander Gustafsson, who stepped away, kind of retired. He was at 205, which is the light heavyweight division. He was stepping up and moving up to heavyweight, and he fought Fabricio Verdum, who had been out for quite some time. And, a lot of people are excited about this fight because Gustafsson gave John Jones all that he could handle, which a lot of people consider John Jones to be the greatest fighter, in MMA history, and he is. He has one loss, and it was due to a technicality. But Alexander Gustafsson pushed him to his limit, and a lot of people saw that fight going for Gus. But anyway, Fabricio Verdum won, who is a mat wizard, a grappling wizard, submission specialist. He grabbed a hold of him and didn't let him go. Alex got up and he grabbed him by the legs. Fabricio did, grabbed him by the legs and then drug him down, just kind of similar like an alligator or a crocodile. Just once they have you, dude, it is over. Smothered him, made him tap out. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully Gus comes back. First fight in heavyweight. It was not a small task for him. Then you had the trilogy fight between Shogun Rua and Little Nog, Antonio Nogueira. So it was a great war. These guys have fought like 2005, then 2015, and then now this was the final fight. And 2 Brazilian legends, which when I saw the card, I was like, wow, these guys are still they're gonna get it on. And it was a competitive match. Shogun actually won. The takedowns really were or what helped him out and played into his favor. But they were slugging it out. It was a good fight. And then lastly, you had Robert Whitaker versus Darren Till. Robert Whitaker was the former champion in the middleweight division, and Darren Till is a strong competitor, and it was a chess match. The fight was early on. Darren Till knocked down Robert Whitaker, and I thought that could be it because he clipped him clean with an elbow. But ultimately, Robert Whitaker showed why he's a champion and came back, imposed his game plan, and the fight went to a decision. But Robert Whitaker got the W. So it was a good card overall.
Yeah.
The next big card is going to be Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That one's going down like August 15th. And that's also a trilogy fight. Daniel Cormier, who is a huge wrestling fan, he is probably one of the best heavyweights to ever do it in mixed martial arts. And in a short period of time, he cemented his name. The only person he couldn't beat was John Jones. And, unfortunately, he had the loss to Stipe Miocic.
Mm-hmm.
The second fight that they had, he won the first fight. So now this is the trilogy, and it should be a good one. So looking forward to that.
UFC, guys.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have to look forward to seeing the outcomes of all of that.
Yep.
Well, we've got down to the end of our show, fellas. So let's do our final thoughts of the show. And let's start with a different voice, being that King Lucky just talked so much. Sin City Steve, what would you like to say to the people out there?
Awesome. So thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. We definitely appreciate all of the reactions, all of the shares. Welcome to some of the new viewers tonight as well. So that was really cool to see a few new names in the chat. So speaking of which, thank you guys for participating in the chat on Facebook. So every Sunday night, 8:00 Pacific time, we're here. So jump on Facebook and join in the conversation. It's fun. So, what's up? Oh, I thought I heard something. Also, like to give a plug for repsports.com. So obviously they've got all of your pre-workout, weight loss, wellness, and energy drink needs, and much, much more. Don't forget, if you go there, you see something that you like, throw it in your cart and use our promo code Vegas at checkout, and you're going to save 15%. So repsports.com, REPP sports.com, and use offer code Vegas at checkout for 15%.
There you go. King Lucky, what you got for us?
Thank you guys for listening. Please subscribe, and that way you don't miss one of these shows and the other stuff we've got coming up. So Thank you very much.
And our historian, any final words you got for us tonight?
Well, I just kind of looked it up here. Steve was wrong on about 75% of his points tonight. Lucky, though, registered a whopping 89.5 on the Rongo meter with his points.
That's about right.
And Simon Street, apparently Simon Street is not getting an operation, so he's good.
All right.
But apparently they accidentally kind of sewed his mouth shut. So
you're saying it's an improvement?
I mean, you're saying it. I'm not.
I mean.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Well,
DJ,
yeah.
what's coming up Friday?
On Friday,
Oh, you don't even know.
Friday Night SmackDown's coming up.
No.
No.
Bang.
It
Bang.
is. Yeah, baby.
DDP, the DDP interview, it will be live on all podcast platforms, including YouTube. We will have the video up. So please make sure you turn on your notification settings, subscribe, because you're going to feel the bang.
All right.
That's happening Friday, by the way.
Just in case you didn't get it, Friday is the day that the DDP interview is going live. The day after Thursday, DDP will be live with, or, the interview will be live. So the day before Saturday, DDP.
There you go.
2 days after Wednesday, by the way, you can catch DDP on our social media.
Dare I say, you can watch the DDP interview in lieu of SmackDown and be more entertained.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
saying.
Well, and what day is that happening on, by the way?
Friday.
There you, okay, cool.
Good job, guys. Man, if we did this on a daily basis, man, we'll be topping some of our top podcasters out there. Man.
By the way, and this will be the last point that I make.
Yeah.
Thank all
Michael's just said, fuck you, I'm out.
yeah, thank all you guys and girls for listening to the show, because your Vegas Bad Boys in the top 100 of all podcasts, and there's thousands upon thousands of podcasts. So for Apple Podcasts, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I guess it's fair to say that in the famous words of Nelly, what does it take to be number one? And you know what? We know what it takes.
You know,
Vegas Bad Boys know.
that's
So
right, because we call a beaver a beaver.
So
Country
thank you.
grammar.
Thank you, Nelly.
Yeah.
Wherever you're at, we appreciate it.
Batter up.
Well, he was on Fremont Street a couple months ago performing, by the way. So if it takes that to be number one, we're going to perform on Fremont Street, okay?
We'll take it. All
The
right,
only
y'all.
thing is, Matt, you have to wear a Band-Aid on your face.
There you go.
No problem. I'll get a teardrop tattoo as well.
Gangsta.
That's
All right.
All right. Good night.
Guys, thank you for listening, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Hey, DJ, why don't you go end the live stream there? Because apparently I gave you control.
You did? No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. There we go. Now we're
Now
off. We could just.
now we're live again.
Hey.